Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about something really powerful. You and the control you have over your life. The truth is, the only things you truly have control over are the ones that come from within you. These include your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. Once you learn to manage these properly, you'll find yourself achieving your goals much faster and more easily. But how do you get to that level of control? It all starts with understanding how your mind works. There are certain scientific patterns behind your thoughts and emotions. Once you're aware of them, you can start directing them in a way that helps you, not hurts you. This kind of awareness allows you to make better decisions, see your life more clearly, and actually improve the quality of your everyday experience. So, let's talk about how the brain works. There are two main thinking systems in your mind. One is the autopilot system, and the other is the intentional system. The autopilot system runs on your emotions and instincts. It works automatically and quickly, using parts of the brain like the amygdala, especially in situations that feel urgent or dangerous. This system also controls your daily habits. The problem? It often treats small stresses like big dangers. This can make your life feel more stressful than it needs to be. And while emotional decisions may feel right in the moment, they often lead to predictable mistakes. On the other hand, the intentional system is all about rational thinking. It helps you do complex tasks like solving problems, managing relationships, and learning new behaviors. This system operates from the prefrontal cortex and needs your conscious effort to work. It doesn't run on autopilot, but it leads to smarter choices. Yes, using the intentional system takes work. It's not always easy to wake up early, save money, or avoid bad habits. Our bodies naturally want comfort, but comfort often blocks growth. That's why it's so important to recognize when you're running on autopilot and when you need to switch to intentional thinking. Over time, we all develop certain behavior patterns. Understanding these patterns is key to knowing yourself. For example, did you know that you can read a jumbled up word as long as the first and last letters are in the right place? That's because your brain has learned the pattern of how words are usually structured. This same principle applies to many areas of your life. Your brain learns how things normally happen, and from there it builds behaviors. First, you give meaning to an experience. Then you learn how different situations can change that meaning. Finally, you decide how you'll react if it happens again. These steps are how your behaviors are formed. So, the better you understand these patterns, the more control you'll have over your decisions, reactions, and ultimately your future. Question for you. Have you ever noticed yourself doing something on autopilot, like scrolling your phone or reacting emotionally, then realized it wasn't actually helping you? How do you think you could start making more intentional choices? When an event happens, you naturally try to understand what it means in different situations. Then you decide how to respond. This process happens whether you're on autopilot or using your intentional thinking system. If you've ever visited a therapist, you might have noticed they ask you many questions. These questions are designed to discover patterns in your life that you might not even be aware of. For example, you might go to therapy because of anxiety or stress, but those feelings are just symptoms. To solve the problem, you need to find the root cause, and patterns help you do exactly that. Let's say you have the habit of biting your nails. Even though you don't like it, you feel you can stop. To find out why this happens, try answering some important questions. What usually makes you want to bite your nails? Is it hunger, boredom, or maybe because your nails feel uneven and you want to fix them? Where are you when the urge comes? Do you do it anywhere, as long as no one is watching? When does this urge happen the most? Maybe early in the morning or late at night? Is there anyone in particular who makes you feel like biting your nails? Maybe a family member or a friend? Now, the tricky part for each answer, ask yourself why. Look for connections, especially between answers that seem very different. For example, hunger and boredom don't seem related, but both might lead to the same behavior. Maybe boredom triggers a need to fidget, while hunger causes restlessness. In this case, let's say nail biting is not caused by anxiety or any person. The clue is in the timing. You mostly bite your nails in the mornings and evenings, times when you're likely to be hungry. This might mean your diet is missing some nutrients, or you're simply too hungry. You could try replacing nail biting with a healthy snack during these times and see if that helps. You see, asking these questions is just the starting point. They help you get to the root cause of your behavior so you can understand why it happens and how to change it. Now, let's talk about negative behavior patterns. Sometimes we get stuck in habits that feel good in the moment, even if they hurt us later.
Hey.
Think about procrastination, overeating, overspending, or watching too much TV. These behaviors give you some kind of payoff, something your brain enjoys or needs, even if it's temporary. To change these habits, you first need to understand what payoff you're getting. For example, emotional payoffs might be feeling less anxious or getting a thrill from rushing to meet a deadline, even if it's stressful. Physical payoffs are the quick, intense rewards your body feels, like the burst of energy from eating sugary snacks. When you know what your behavior is giving you, you can find healthier ways to meet those same needs. That's how real change happens. Question for you: can you think of a habit you have that might be giving you a payoff, even if it's not good for you? What do you think that payoff might be? Let's talk about payoffs, the results you get from doing something, even if it's unwanted. For example, yelling at your child or partner might get them to do what you want in the moment, but just because it works temporarily doesn't mean it's the right thing to do in the long run. There are also thought payoffs, unwanted thoughts that serve a purpose. Sometimes these thoughts distract you from something painful or troubling. They can make you feel like you're in control of your life, as if you're the master of your own destiny. These thoughts might even convince you that you deserve the good things happening to you, even if the way you think isn't healthy. Once you understand the psychological needs connected to your unwanted behavior, the key is to find better ways to meet those needs. Try to use these alternative methods at the times when you'd usually do the unwanted behavior. This can help you break the habit and feel better. Your personality plays a big role in shaping your behavior. Everyone's personality is different, and psychologists group personalities into types based on traits with two opposite extremes. Your behavior usually falls somewhere in the middle of these extremes. And remember, no personality type is better or worse than another. They just have different strengths and weaknesses. One common personality category is introvert versus extrovert. Within minutes of meeting someone, you can often tell if they're more extroverted or introverted. Extroverts are usually outgoing, great at talking with others, making friends and networking. However, they might struggle with listening carefully, organizing themselves, and following through on tasks. Introverts, on the other hand, tend to form fewer but deeper relationships. They're often better at written communication than speaking. Many introverts find it hard to present themselves or their ideas, which can be challenging in situations like offices, where public speaking or selling ideas is important. Some introverts are shy, while others simply keep their feelings and thoughts to themselves. Knowing which personality type you fit into can help you understand the unique strengths you bring to the table, both for yourself and your team. It also helps you recognize areas you might want to improve. For instance, if speaking in public makes you nervous, you can try breathing exercises to calm your anxiety and help you perform better. Question for you: do you think you are more of an introvert or an extrovert? How does this affect the way you handle your daily challenges? When you're about to make an important decision, it's helpful to pause and ask yourself, is it the extrovert or the introvert in me that's driving this choice? Or is my decision coming from clear, rational thinking? Sometimes, instead of staying comfortable where you are, you need to push yourself out of that comfort zone and do what will move you forward toward success. Here are some questions to consider, depending on your personality type. If you're an extrovert, ask yourself, am I burning bridges by not giving my relationships the attention and respect they deserve? If you're an introvert, ask, is my failure to speak up during important conversations holding me back from being recognized for my skills and talents? Answering these questions will help you decide what direction to take. Will you choose to improve your communication and speaking skills, or will you focus on building stronger relationships so you have a reliable support system? The choice you make will shape how you behave moving forward, either more directly or more indirectly. This brings us to the idea of direct versus indirect behavior. Direct behavior is clear and to the point, while indirect behavior involves longer conversations to avoid hurting feelings or to stay politically correct. Extroverts are often appreciated for their directness, and some introverts show this trait, especially when they feel threatened or challenged, like when their work, family, or team is on the line. They tend to speak up and take action when needed. Direct behavior usually leads to concrete results because it encourages people to talk openly about opportunities and risks that affect the team. However, if overdone, it can come off as rude or insensitive. On the other hand, indirect behavior tends to be more passive and helps keep peace between people. But it can slow down progress and cause misunderstandings due to long conversations that test everyone's patience. Now let's talk about the fight or flight response, the body's automatic reaction to stressful situations. It's not just about sudden emergencies. Sometimes it helps us decide how to respond to less urgent but difficult problems. Some people choose to fight, taking a stubborn, defensive stand. Others prefer to avoid the situation altogether, choosing flight. What matters most is how your response affects others. If you avoid a problem, how does your absence affect your team? If you fight, are you putting others' safety or well-being at risk? Next is the idea of change and resistance to change. Some people get excited about change, while others fear it. You can often tell by how someone behaves whether they welcome change or avoid it. Many political campaigns use change as a powerful slogan for success, but not everyone wants change. Change can lead to amazing progress, like revolutions that transform the world. But it can also cause harm if it leads people down the wrong path. Resistance to change can slow innovation, but also protects successful, time-tested strategies. Knowing where you stand on change can help you rethink your goals. Are your goals too rigid? Are they focused on the right things? Think about where your ideas will take you in the long run. Will they help you stay competitive and achieve the results you want? Question for you. When making a big decision, do you find yourself leaning more on your feelings as an extrovert or your quiet reflection as an introvert? How do you balance that with rational thinking? Everyone has a unique way of seeing the world and a different level of following rules and regulations. A person's attitude toward rules is often shaped by their personal philosophy of life. Some people are compliant. They follow the rules strictly, even if they don't fully agree with them. They believe it's their moral duty to obey the laws. On the other hand, rebellious people tend to bend or break the rules, either just to go against them or to reach personal goals. The way you handle rules can create different reactions from those around you, either concern or excitement. While being compliant has its benefits, there are times when you need to break away from the old rule book and take a new path. Some rules no longer make sense and may actually stop you from achieving success. Think about history. Many countries won their independence by breaking the rules. Innovation and invention also come from questioning and going beyond the rules. Another behavior to notice is whether a person is fast-paced or slow-paced. Fast-paced individuals handle their business quickly, think on their feet, and chase new opportunities with energy. But sometimes, moving too fast can lead to reckless decisions and serious problems. Slow-paced people, however, take their time, carefully thinking through every step before acting. This can help avoid mistakes, but might also cause anxiety, especially when time is limited, and sometimes it slows down chances for success. The behaviors we've talked about are just a few of many that influence how you and others act. Understanding these behavior types is important because it helps you see how your actions and communication affect your relationships. Knowing your strengths means you can use them to your advantage, and recognizing your weaknesses gives you a chance to work on them and reduce their negative effects. Question for you. Are you more of a rule follower, or do you tend to challenge the rules? How has that shaped your path in life? Thanks so much for watching Beyond the Body. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more great content. See you next time.